Okay, we start in a bit. Okay, it's 8 o'clock now. Let us start. Good evening and warm welcome to Brother Joe and brothers and sisters around the globe to Wondrous Lotus Sutra discussion. Before we start, let us invite Brother Joe to lead us in paying homage to Triple Gem. Let us pay our respects to these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere vows. Please rise, palms together. First vow. Second vow. Third vow. Okay, today we have Singapore team to in this Wondrous Lotus Sutra discussion with Brother Joe. We have Sister Xin Qing, Sister Jane, and Sister Jennifer. Yeah, over to you, Sister Xin Qing.
Okay. Hello, hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, Brother Joe and all the brothers and sisters online today. Okay, so I'm Xin Qing, and beside me is Sister Jennifer and then Sister Jane. So we are from Singapore, Tzu Chi. First and foremost, really 感恩 to Sister Siu Ching for giving us the chance to share tonight. So basically, tonight's session will be a little bit different from the usual wisdom at dawn sharing for our Friday night sessions. Tonight we have we have a very good party, Sister Jennifer, who's going to share with us her story, her life story. Yeah, actually it's not easy to invite Sister Jennifer to share because yeah, she keeps saying that she got no fa, she got no dharma. Okay, so we had to convince her by saying that, oh, actually the dharma will be shared by Brother Joe, right? Yeah, so we don't have to stress. Okay, we are just actually she's like she's working the life dharma in her life yeah. So this is like life dharma. Okay, yeah, and I think we have a lot to learn from her. Yeah, so I really 感恩 Sister Jennifer for being willing to share her story with us. Yeah, okay, so maybe I'll just pass the mic over to her and you can start. Yeah.
I think recently there's something happened to you, right? Maybe we can start from there.
Okay, so okay. Basically, Sister Jennifer had for the past year or so she gone through, I would say for us it's a very difficult period yeah, okay, but maybe it's better to hear from her, yeah, what are her experiences, and then Sister Jane and I will just chip in along the way, yeah. So chill.
OK， 哎，你把我推到前面。好，我们在你后面。OK， good morning, good evening. See, I'm really very nervous. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Thank you for your time and thank you for having me here. Yeah, I'm Sister Hui Ping. 上人赐我法号易安。Yes. So basically, I'm just sharing what happened to me this last year. Basically, last March, I suddenly couldn't see very clearly on my right eye. So I actually went to see a doctor. Then my doctor fast-tracked my case to an eye specialist. So I'm actually very grateful I met my first 贵人. She's the GP doctor who actually fast-tracked my appointment to see the eye specialist. And that's where I met my second 贵人. Actually, I'm a very lucky person. 我真的是个感恩. I'm very grateful that I'm a very lucky person. Because when I went and see the eye specialist, everybody pay 1 consultation fee, they only see 1 doctor. But I pay 1 consultation fee, I get 5 free. Because my condition is so interesting that 5 doctors came one by one to take a look at my eye. And then that's where I met my another group of 贵人 who decided that something is not right. She would admit me immediately. So on the 23rd of March, I was immediately admitted to the hospital for a MRI because she felt that something is not very right. So that day, I wasn't ready. I was like ready to go home. So I was wearing my go out clothes, right? Like, you know, the casual, go out there, chill clothes. So I wasn't expected to be, I don't expect myself to be admitted. So I'm ready, but nevertheless, I went through it. And that's where, after the MRI, I was told to rest in bed. So I was in the hospital ward so the story, right? So at 8:31, all right, I was shaken and woke at the bed. So when I woke up, suddenly I woke up, I saw two person, one male, one female, one in overall garb and the other lady, and the guy in overall garb was like shaking me. Then I'm like, and the first thing I hear when I woke up is like, he looked at me, he looks very serious. Do you know you have a mess in your head? So I have my OS, all right? My first OS was mess. MESS or MASS? MASS I can still handle, but if it's MESS, I have a real issue then. And the next thing I know was that before I can ask him the next question, right? Then have you seen your MRI? I'm like, hey, hello, dude. I just woke up, right? But then I remember 上人说我们要跟人家结好缘. So I was like, no, I have not. So, but what I set up was, no, I have not. How may I help you? I asked that fella. So the next thing that the doctor did was to tell me, hey, I'm the doctor on duty now. I have an emergency operation. I need to go now. So the next thing I know, before I know it, pop, the two of them gone. So I'm like, hey, the info just sinking. You got a mess in your head. And then, have I seen my MRI? No, I haven't. So that's where I decided to walk out the ward and to see what actually happened. And lo and behold, I saw the other doctor, the female one, along the corridor, and that's where she was at the monitor. She was scrolling at the monitor. There's a mobile monitor, so that's where she was like, "You come here." Then I'm like, okay. I walk over, not knowing what else to do, right? What else to expect? So I walk over, and that's where I saw the image. It's an MRI image. MRI image, right? When it's all black is good. All right. So what I saw was an all black image, and then there was a speck of white, grayish. So I was calling. So it looks like a cloud. So I call it my Xiao Yun. I nickname it my Xiao Yun. So little cloud. So when I saw it, right, it's about the size at the tip of my pinky finger. So I was like, no big deal. I can deal with it. So when the doctor started to scroll, so this little Xiao Yun started to accumulate into a cumulus limbus. If you are a geography person, cumulus limbus basically is a thunderstorm cloud. It's a huge, humongous mess. Then it was like, okay, that's where I see the whole thing that occupies a huge part of my brain. And that's where she says, this is the mess. This is huge. Then I'm like, okay, yes, it's huge. So it's still sinking. The whole thing is still sinking. All right, that's where she was like, all right, it's not, it's huge. And then the next thing she said, at least we know it's not cancerous. And that's where I said, yes, I have my first win. Yes. So, but as I turn around, as I walk away, I was thinking, but how do you know that it's non-cancerous, right? So when I turn around, the doctor's gone. So I'm like, okay. But nevertheless, I decided, okay, never mind, it's okay. That's where I started to ponder at 8:50. By then it's about 8:50 plus. My first thought was, how am I going to inform my family? Because I don't want this to be the last news of the day for them. And neither do I want it to be the first news of the day for them. Yeah, so that's where I walk over and and I walk away. I decided to go to find a place to rest. Yeah, so I met a nurse. So that's where I asked the nurse, oh, hey, nurse, is there a place I can rest? Yeah, then she says, yeah, down this corridor, go this way. And that's where I took a few steps. And when I turned around and asked nurse, because I really need to vent. So that I asked nurse, am I allowed to scream? And that's where the nurse said, huh? What do you want to do? I said, I would like to scream. Seeing the nurse is a Chinese speaking person, Chinese name, I 我可以呐喊吗? That's where the sister was like, what do you want? 呐喊? No. So I'm like, okay, so I can't 呐喊. So what's the point of walking over? So that's where I decided to go back to my bed. And that's where I let the thing sink. I always don't think I'm a very dharma I don't know dharma well, but I'm very grateful that I have been I have been attending the wisdom at dawn. Yeah, because that's when it hit me. I realized I'm not scared. 我不畏惧. At that point, I want to 呐喊. It's more like, but after that, after I accepted it, I realized 生老病死 is a passage. What for? Accept it. It is 少林有说过，逆境 right？ 逆境要有因缘观嘛，顺境要有无常观。So I accept, and I realized it just takes a split second for us to accept, and I can sleep really well that night. Yeah, and to that note, I really want to be very grateful and thankful to Sister Chao, because while I was worried about how to inform the news to my family, Sister Chao just happened that day she gave me a call, right? It was unexpected, and I shared this with her, and I'm very grateful to have my great Fa Qing around me. She was there to be with my mother. The very next morning to send her to the hospital, sit with her as I inform my family, my mom, of what happened and what is to come, because I was told that I have to go for a open cranium surgery to remove Xiao Yun. And I'm thinking, Xiao Yun, Yun Lai Yun San is okay, I'm good. Yeah, and in the process of the whole process, I happen to be sharing my room with other wardmates. That's where I'm very grateful that I'm very grateful to meet all my 病友, because I have one lady, my 病友, from my 病友, I really learn a lot. So one of my 病友, I think she's not well mentally. She was very upset when another another patient had to wear diaper. She was very upset. She says, why she can wear diaper, I cannot. I want to wear diaper when she doesn't need. And I was there as a third person. I was looking at her. I felt sorry. And I just tell myself, she must be really, really in a very bad place. That's why she even want to be on diaper. But on my end, I was just thinking to myself, if I survive the surgery, the open cranium surgery, I can't wait to be able to 自理. As long as I can manage myself, I don't need to wear a diaper. I'll be so grateful and thankful. Yeah. And there are other interesting stories with my other wardmates. Yeah, but I'm very grateful that we so much so that I even organized one of my the 病友 who is mentally not very sound. Yeah, I even because she is like wandering. She at night she will wander around the ward, looking down at all of us, not sleeping. So, and she loved to look at my things. Yeah, because I'm very grateful. I have a lot of people who give me little gifts and encouragement. So on one of the day, I decided that, 见苦知福, because I'm there, I want to give. I felt that we want to give, we want to make the day better for other people. Yeah, I want to be able to do that because I'm well. I am good. It's just I have to go for the open cranial surgery. So what? But now I'm well, right? So I decided to organize an event. So I took actually it's from Sister Xin, and with her blessing, right? I asked her for permission first. So I said, may I give this gift that you have gifted me to the sister across my bed. And that's that morning when she was having her breakfast, I just jumped right in front of her. I said, good morning, sister. I wish you get well. And then she looked my ward mate, she looked at me and she said, I don't want. And that's where I was like, okay, what am I gonna do next? Do I give up and walk away? Cannot. You know, once you're on that point, you can. It's a point of no return. There's no turning back. So I was like, I refuse to let her lukewarm response affect that. I said, I tell myself I want to bring her joy. Let's try. I said, no, let's get well together. Good morning. And I just stuffed the bear bag bouquet to her and then just turned around and ran off.
You have no chance to reject you.
So that she had no chance to reject me. I didn't expect anything. I just hope that I can make her day, right? So, but subsequently, the following day, I had she was doing her, oh, by the way, I call her Baby Shark. I don't know her name. I just, because she will be like walking around, you know, going through the ward. So,
but I think she was very depressed.
Yeah, she's very depressed. So, the following day, as usual, she was walking around, moving around, shuffling around the ward, right? And that's when she shuffled near me. As she shuffled closer and closer, to be very honest, I am a little scared. She's very big size, I'm very small, right? I'm a little scared. And before I know it, she just gave me a hug. She just hugged me and she mumbled something in her language, her native language. I don't understand. But at that point, I just keep telling myself, it is a word of blessing. Yeah. Then subsequently, the evening, this time around, she's very deliberate. She walked to my bed next to me, and that's where she gave me a tight hug again. And this time around, she again said something in her native language. But this time around, I know, I can feel it. She is giving me her blessing. I didn't know. I think I am very grateful for her to reach out to me. Yeah. So along my journey as subsequently after the surgery, after I had my surgery, I'm very thankful. Right now I can see clearly already. I regained all my eyesight. But more importantly, my entire adventure in the hospital taught me that we really need to be very grateful for all the things that we have, and we must be very grasp all the opportunities we have to give, because we never know, our body may give up. Yeah. To which I'm very thankful for. So in fact, this morning when I went to work, my big boss, my deputy director, overheard, because I was helping my colleague, and then she was like, hey, I'm very sorry, I'm troubling you. Then I said, no, I'm grateful that I'm well enough to be able to give and do something. Then my big boss heard, and she said, I hear you, you say you're very good. But really, 生老病死 is a process. You never know when Wu Chang will hit us. Wu Chang need not be death. Wu Chang can be just something that's unknown. And we never know what we have taken for granted can be taken away from us in a split second, like what COVID-19 did. Our freedom. It need not be a sickness. It can be even larger than that. Yeah. So, yeah, this is my little story.
Yeah, actually just want to treat me at this point. The story hasn't ended. Unfortunately, yeah. Okay, but actually we're very grateful to Jennifer, right? Because I think one thing that I really look up to her for is that she really allowed all her friends and family, right, to journey with her through this through this difficult time. Yeah, when she had to be warded and had to go through a lot, had to lose a lot of the function that she used to have. Yeah, so maybe you can share a bit more about your 结好缘. I don't know, that's what she shared with us lah. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Okay, actually initially when this happened, right, Sister Chao Rong, she is the one who happened to call me on the very day that I discovered Xiao Yun. So I had to tell her because she's asking me where I was. Yeah, so I had to tell her. Then subsequently I was thinking, should I let people know? Should I let my family, in fact, my extended family know? Should I let my Fati know? It took me 3 seconds to make the decision. The first time I was awarded. The 3 seconds, it just took me 3 seconds. Then I decided that I want to do it. I will let them know. Even though I may be disturbing them or 麻烦人, troubling them, but I would like them to know, because this idea of affinity, because I don't want to 断此生缘, and I also don't want to I want to continue my affinity with all the Faqin. If this lifetime is gonna cut short for me, never mind. I wanna keep my affinity for the next lifetime, so that we will still meet again, and then who knows, next lifetime, hey, they'll be nicer to me. As it is, they are very nice to me. Censor, huh? Okay. But then along the way in my journey, as I 结好缘 with all the team of the good people at the hospital, I find that I have no fear. 身体 my mantra when I was having I had to go for a 10-hour surgery. In fact, just before they put the laughing gas, I was still murmuring to myself, 我相信医生，我相信医生，我相信护士，我相信 SGH, which is the hospital, I was 医疗团队. When I trust fully, I have no fear. Yeah, and then when I recover, I'm also very grateful that I have met a lot of 贵人 who is there to help me, and therefore I can just concentrate on being here and now. So I just try my best. Whenever my body allows me to, I'll just to 结好缘. So as I change ward, I will be 结好缘ing with all my patient mates. Yeah, so I'll be with I have a ward mate who is crying every day after my surgery. She was crying every day, so I was like wondering why is she crying every day. So I make it a point that after I attended morning wisdom at dawn, right? At 9 a.m. every morning, I will play 幸福的脸. I will play very loud so that the entire ward can hear, and I'll sing along. Yeah. Then subsequently, I hear her keep crying. I was like, why is she always crying? So I decided to get gifts for her. Same thing. And she always keep the curtain drawn. So there's one day I just decided I'm just gonna open up her curtain, all right, and then just, hey, good morning, right? And gift her a get well soon balloon, and that's where she was like, she had a shock of her life, and then so I started, how are you? Okay, if you need anything, I'm just next door, right? Next bed lah. So and that's where I discovered that she is also a Buddhist. So with her permission, I asked her for permission. With her permission, I actually, in my free time, cause my eyes is good already. My body is okay. It's just that I have a scar over my. Oh, this is the scar, by the way. All right. On my head, I tell myself, okay. All right. With her permission, 我帮她抄药师经. So 我就跟她抄药师经，然后就折成 and I'll fold it into paper crane and I'll gift her. So I'll gift. Then across my bed, I have another ward mate. She is she's dying from cancer. So I folded 2 apples and 寓意平安吉祥. I just gift, and then I just hope that they will be happier. Even for a split second, I think I'm very grateful that I can be able to make them smile for the day. Yeah. So yeah, and then upon recovery, I'm back to 自己. Yes, and I 承担岁末的协调 for this year, and then or for last year, then yeah, and I'm very grateful to be able to 付出. So 把握因缘, yes.
I think you make a vow to 上人, right?
Yes, I made a vow to 上人. I told 上人 that 我会告假，我身体一旦 once my body is able, I will 告假 and I will 承担岁末. And I'm very grateful that I was able to do it before I had a relapse this year, early this year, late last year. So, but I'm okay. I'm going through second round of treatment, and I'm grateful for every day that I'm alive. Yes, Karen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sister Jennifer, she might say that she doesn't have the dharma, but actually I think she really walked the dharma when she encountered people around her workmates who are worse than her mentally or psychologically. She's willing to lend her hand. I think for most of us, maybe we just too focus on ourselves. Yeah, we're too focused on our own illness rather than caring for others. But Sister, she don't preach dharma, but she put it into action. So there's something that I really salute to her.
Yeah, and recently, so during the 岁末祝福 period, that was in December last month lah. Yeah, so we held our regular Lotus Point, our 品书会. Yeah, so I remember that day we had dinner over here at Sister Jane's place, and then Sister Jennifer was sharing with us like, oh, she had to visit 感恩户 care recipient because they requested for extra financial aid and stuff. Yeah, so it told us the story and everything. Yeah, then we held our usual 品书会 and then she also shared about like her role as a coordinator for year-end blessing, which is very, very, very hectic and all. Yeah, then yeah, so we really didn't expect that at the end of our Lotus Point study group, she broke the news to us about her relapse. Yeah, I think we really didn't expect. It's just I don't know how she can really, yeah. Maybe you can share with us about
how you respond to your relapse. How you take it?
How I take it?
Or what happened? Yeah, maybe just
okay, so initially the first admission when I found Xiao Yun, it was non-cancer. Remember, I was sharing that it was my first win, right? That I held on. But lo and behold, upon extracting Xiao Yun out, they discovered that it was actually a very, very rare form of cancer. In fact, in Singapore, I'm the first one. Yeah, so that makes me a very special person. Okay. I can earn because of how rare it was. The team that was looking after me, they were really working very hard and they really take very good care of me. When I had the relapse, of course I cried. Yeah, I cried with my mom, right? But then I tell myself, 这是无常. It is my year that I need to sell. So instead of denying it, saying that it didn't happen or not accepting it, I think I'm more at peace to just accept it as part of the year that I need to sell. All right. And why not? I'm grateful that I have earned the battle. I won the battle earlier on. I'm grateful that I'm very grateful, really grateful that I was sick. And through the entire journey, I realized how fortunate I am and still is. I'm very grateful that I have my family, my friends around me. So when I have a relapse, it's okay. I'm not scared. 我不畏惧。每一天是赚到的。Yeah. So, of course, like there's a bit of disappointment, but then very quickly, I think within 15 minutes, I overcome it. Yeah, within 15 minutes, because just accept, moved on, do the best I can, make the best use of my time, make sure that I don't regret. So, 不畏惧，不用怕。
And I think master's teaching also played a very big part in helping Sister Jennifer through this journey lah. Can share on this. Because she persisted with her morning 熏法香 at 5:20 every morning. Yeah, together with the rest of the volunteers on Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I find that every day when 上人的开示 I learn, and I feel that it will always address whatever questions I have. And I find that once I think the Four Noble Truths helps me, once we accept that, and then we accept 因缘果报, 因缘观, there's a lot, I find that a lot of things that happens in my life, I can accept. I find it, I can accept it easily. Yeah. And 上人的法 is, how do I put it? It will, I find it very applicable and transferable. Yeah. So, how do I put it?
Example.
How do
I think she mentioned that just by listening to Master sharing every morning, it's a very calming.
It's very calming. Yes, it's very calming. So, okay, there was one night when after I was informed that this is a relapse and the growth is actually very fast. Yeah, because it's so fast. It was within 7 months it relapsed. So my doctor was telling me that I'm not looking at treating you now. This is actually from my doctor. I'm not looking at treating you now. I'm just trying to save your life. So that night, when in the middle of the night, when you know, when you are alone, that's where all the thoughts comes in. I find myself couldn't sleep. That night, I just couldn't sleep. Yeah, but then I just listened to 上人. Then I can sleep really well that night. I cannot remember what 上人 said. Actually, honestly, I cannot remember what 上人 said. I just find it very soothing, very calming, and that eased me through. And that was the only night that I couldn't sleep, because of fear. But after I hear 上人, I was able to overcome, and after that, I was okay already. Yeah. So, 上人的法真的是潜移默化吧。It will when things happen, I just find that I am able to respond to it positively. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I initially, when sister asked me to come and do a sharing, I was very fearful because 我讲不出法. I'm not a very 法人. I don't know how to say, but I'm just very grateful that while attending the Wisdom at Dawn, I'm very grateful that 上人the wisdom must have trickled in, and therefore I am who I am today. I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for coming into Tzu Chi, because I don't know whether or not I will respond so well and still laugh every day. All right, knowing my condition, and I think the morning 熏法香 that I started since 2018, yeah, must have been is credit to that. Yeah.
I think not many people can be like Jennifer like that. I mean, she's in the first place, she's very positive thinking, very jovial, but when really impermanence sit in, where your life is being threatened, can any one of us take it so calmly? And actually, she do have ups and downs. I can hear from her mom, but I think she rebounds back very quickly. So that is something that I think we can learn from her. Yeah, I think the Dharma has sit into her, and she didn't know, as what she mentioned, 法是潜移默化了. Somehow it sit in. So when we are facing difficulties, especially on ourselves, that is the time that we are being put to test, and that's the time where we see how good are we in grasping the Dharma.
Anything? Sister Jennifer is really a very family-oriented person, I must say. Yeah, really, really, very, very filial, and really always put her family, even in front of her, like before her. Yeah. So, yeah. Cannot praise too much.
Family, okay. The reason why initially I was very worried about how I want to share with my family the news of my diagnosis was because my dad is actually bedridden. Has been so for past 2-3 years. So I was very worried because my mom is the only person who's a main caregiver, right? So that's the context. But as initially when I joined Tzu Chi in 2017. So initially when I joined Tzu Chi, I was introduced the concept of 见苦知福。见苦知福说了容易，做起来有点难。But you have to be tested to realize that are we able to practice this concept of 见苦知福? So when my dad fell down initially, and he was actually in a very serious situation that he has to be intubated in ICU. So my family members, they were all freaking out. They were really freaking out, in tears and all. But by then I already joined Tzu Chi. I was able to, at that point, as a third party, not really a third party, but bystander, I was able to, at least while the family is very upset and crying because dad is in ICU and may die, I was assuring my family, hey, at least dad is breathing. At least dad is alive, right? And when he is, when the team of doctors said that, he may have to be, so he cannot breathe on his own, so they have to insert a hole or incision here. My family again started very worried and all. I was like, hey, at least dad's life is, we ensured that that is okay and he can recover. All right. So I was able to support the family when everybody is breaking down. Then subsequently, when it comes to my turn, when 无常到自己的身上的时候, when I fell ill, that's where the true test comes. While I'm able to assure the family of everything that's happening when it happened to my dad and keep the family together, when it's my turn, I realized that that is the 考试来了咯，我的测验，我的考试。So I don't know if I passed with flying colors, but I'm grateful that 我更坚信what we are doing is the right thing. 我更坚信，我更深信什么叫做你见苦你就会知福，然后你会感恩惜福，然后更会希望可以去造福。对 ，and I'm just grateful that with every breath, with my able body, I will commit myself to continue on my work, and hopefully I can spread more joy, and do and make everybody else and make everyone better.
Truly, I think it's not. I mean, it sounds like very. I go. I mean, from what we see from Sister Jennifer's story is that it's not just fa as in like written on the books or like we hear 上人 say the fa, but actually she really like live it out lor. So like when she said that she really wants to treasure every moment to contribute and 付出, right? Yeah, actually like we were all quite, how to say, quite shocked that very shortly after she recovered from her operation, or maybe even like not fully recovered, she already started to engage like in all the volunteer activities. Yeah, because she's also in the environmental protection group, and then she go and 承担 the 岁末祝福 coordinator, which is like such a big event, such a big thing. Yeah, so very busy. Yeah,
I still remember her in the activity groups actually give her all the reasons that she can actually relax through, but she lived up to her promise to master. As long as her body is enabled, she will do her best, which actually she really did that. Which I think for a normal person like us, it's not easy lah, because it's how hectic it is to involve in the year-end blessing for the whole Singapore. So, but she just take it on and then live up to the standard and even excel. So it actually moved a lot of volunteers.
Maybe I can take this chance to ask Sister Jennifer, what's the, actually I'm very curious really, I want to know like what is the really, what thing motivate you so much that because she never, whenever she does something, she'll like really give you like 110%, yeah, you'll give her everything. So 不打折扣 even when she's like not well, even her 心法香 as well, right? Every morning, even in the hospital ward, she also on her computer to 心法香 with everyone. Yeah, so yeah, maybe to end off, we like to just share with us like what is the thing that motivate you to be so diligent, yeah, to really be so earnest in making full use of all your time, your life and all.
I don't know if it's cliche for me to say this, but 对的事做就对了，因为 life may not give you a second chance in life lah. So if I committed to something, I will give it my all because that's the right thing to do. Yeah. And after we do what we do, there's no regrets. 对. So then 重要是大家开心，我也开心啊。对，就其实 honestly at the end of the day， 我觉得赚到最多的是我自己。我 while we 付出无所求， but 我觉得我赚很多。because we say that we give without expecting any return, right? Yes, I really do it without expecting any return, but in the end, I find that I gain the most. Yeah, it is priceless. Yeah. With my patient, my ward mates, whom I continue to keep in contact with, I didn't expect anything, but apparently when I called one of my sister ward mates, she actually told me she is always looking forward to my messages to her. I didn't expect that, but I'm so happy for her because she's no longer crying and she can joke and is very positive about life. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Yeah.
And she calls you 师姐.
Yeah, she calls me sister. Yeah, we call each other sister. 姐妹相称了. Yeah, then even the Popo, another ward mate, I also keep in touch with her son. Yeah, because of COVID-19, I couldn't visit her, but I would commit myself to visit her one of the days. Yeah. So 对的事做就对了。感恩。
I think we'd like to hear from Brother Joe. Anything to feedback to Sister Jennifer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not even sure what to say because I think Sister Jennifer is what she said, right? She's the first one. She's the very rare in Singapore, right? The only one with this condition, and I think she is already it can be our teacher, because just like what Jane and also Xinqing said, that this is not dharma that we talked about, right? It's not the dharma that you talk and you read in the books. And that's the true dharma. It's the one that you can't touch. It's the one that you can't grasp. And I would like to share this. Let me share my screen. And just a couple of days ago, I read through Master's teachings, and I thought about it, and I thought I knew, and I even explained it. And then I heard today's sharing from Sister Jennifer, and I think she lived it. Okay, so let me share this part, and I would like to just okay. This is the Master's talk on December the 4th, and when Master was, I think she was in let me think, December the 4th. She was away, and on her first trip. This is on her first trip, and so Master's in I think already maybe Taoyuan, and she talked about that Ziji. Okay, so I'm sure Jennifer, you can read Chinese, but briefly, Master mentioned that Ziji has already gone into the 56th year, and in the process, and also looking into the future, even though we know that there is impermanence, that we know that you can't seek the things that you wanted, but our mind, we need to have a direction, and we also have, we need to have some ways of dealing with all the things. So I personally use these two pictures, right? One is a direction that Master points to, and then the other is the path, or you have to have a way to deal with. And I think on the one hand, what we talked about, what we share, it's only the direction. Like, hey, you should positively face all difficulties, and you should do this, you should do that. And that's the first picture, the finger. And then who has actually truly walked it and lived it? Well, not me. And so I really didn't understand it. But anyway, let me continue. So Master says that even though there's impermanence, you need to use the view or the conditions of permanence to face it. Then you would have the energy, or you would have the mobility to carry out. So I didn't understand what this means, right? Even though there is impermanence, but you have to have the permanence, the heart of permanence, the mindset of permanence to face it. If everybody always think of impermanence, then you would not be able to do anything, right? Because the 5 skandhas, one of them is there's changes, it changes. So I actually interpret it. So the other day I interpret this to mean that what it means to have a permanent mindset to look at impermanence. And I took it to mean that it actually means change. It actually means change, even though it's impermanence. But I don't want to look at it as impermanence. I want to look at it as change. I want to look at it as adjusting. I want to look at it as that it's a turn, is a opportunity for me to change. And and I realized that from what Sister Jennifer said today, you've done so much change, and these changes are real, right? You are still who you are. I think you are the most lifeful person. You are the person with full of life, right? The way that you're expressing yourself, the way that you're, using your hands, and I see your facial expression, okay? And I listen to the way that you smile and you laugh. You are so full of life. that's who you are. I believe that's who you were before and after. That I don't think that part changed. But what really changed was now that you see Dharma differently, right? You're still, as Sister Sinchin said, that you are dedicated to waking up in the morning to listen to the Dharma, wisdom and dawn. But I'm sure listening to it before and after, there's a change in you. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Maybe the idea of doing this is different already. And the way that you interact with people, and also the way that you tell yourself that you are going to take on the responsibility as the coordinator for the year-end blessing. I don't know before if you would do something like this, but I really think that impermanence in the eyes, in the mindset of permanence, is not impermanence, it's change and how we are adjusting our lives. So now you said every word that you said, right? You talked about cherishing, you talk about grasping lives and grasping every moment. I'm not sure if before your Xiao Yun happened, if you say it, if you really meant it, but I could see now you definitely know what you're talking about when you're talking about 对的事情做就对了. And that has so much conviction in it that is way more than anything that anybody could say, because without really changing our mindset, using the mindset of permanence to look at impermanence, that means change, then I think we're still in this area where we're still saying it like a cliche. So when you said without making it sound like a cliche, trust me, Jennifer, I don't think anything comes out of your mouth is cliche because you are doing it, right? If I am saying it, yeah, then that would be like, oh, Joe, you're so over it. You say this all the time. But for Jennifer, is different. So no, it's not a cliche. It's something that's truly you. So I was still asking, I was thinking, are you healthy now? Because you look so full of life. You look to be probably before you're as active, you're as talkative, you're as lightful, with life, right? So animated. And then I heard about you later mentioned on that there was a relapse. And so it still takes some time to deal with that. And that marks another change. And so and then I'm grateful for your friends and your Faqin that's right next to you, and the ones that couldn't be here tonight. They're also pointing out about your family, and you mentioned about your father, and then I realized that perhaps it's a gradual process, right? This is not something that maybe when it hits you, but then there were some preparation along the way, in the ways that maybe we know, in the ways that maybe we don't know, that it slowly changes and prepares you for something that you might or might not know is coming. And I think that's what you mentioned, just like the Dharma itself. It's not something that is so outright changes someone, but it prepares you, it hardens you, and it makes you resilient in ways that we didn't know. And like you said, if you are not tested, then you really don't know if it's enough or not. And we don't want to be, tested to know that we're not prepared, but rather we wanted to be fully prepared when the day comes. And when that day comes, whether it comes naturally or abruptly, we should be ready. And I think hearing the story from you, that you had this opportunity, and the one thing that you mentioned at the very beginning, you talked about the doctors. I need to say that it must be very, very difficult to hear it so directly without anything to sort of to feel for you. Okay. And I don't know if it's because they thought you knew already, like the way they they talk to, and I don't know how you felt at the time, but what really got me was your reaction, which was, now I must come down because I need to 接好缘. So no, not the mess in my head or the mass in my head, right? What are you talking about? The mess or the mass, right? So I think that part was interesting. Was how you dealt with it. Seeing you, I thought you would just run to them and maybe had a fight with them. Okay, but how slowly things have changed. Because you know, seeing how you talk, I would be afraid to talk to you. Okay, I will be afraid. You know, if you're coming to me, if you're my customer, you're coming to me and you talk about, why do you sell this for so much? And I think I'll be afraid because you'll be telling me, no, it should not cost this much. So I'm glad that you didn't, you know, go to the doctor and give him a lot of trouble. And maybe that's why when the nurse heard you that you wanted to scream, maybe she thought that maybe that's what you're trying to do. Like, you know, what in the world are you guys doing? Maybe she didn't realize what you were trying to do was actually, it was something to let your emotion and to maybe be able to sort it out. So I'm really grateful for your sharing, and I would like to ask Sister Jennifer, how does it feel to be the first person in Singapore to have this? How do you even call this 小云? I mean, I don't understand that. Is it because do you talk to 小云? Do you say prayers to 小云? And now that I'm speaking about 小云, does小云know I'm talking about 小云right now?
I think 小云, the 小云version 1.0 gone already. Now it's 小云version 2.0. Yeah, but okay, I do talk to 小云. In fact, when I first found that I'm coexisting with 小云, every morning I will touch 小云on my head, because it's okay. The first 小云version 1.0 is actually pressing my optic nerve. That's why I cannot see. Right? So I will be doing this. I'll be like, 感恩你，我向你忏悔，对不起，我还你。Right? 然后就是谢谢你。So I'll talk to 小云 every morning. Yeah. And I'm still talking to 小云 2.0. But sorry, Brother Joe, what's the other question you asked me?
I think because I think this is already more than the answer that I could bargain for, because to be able to, the other question I asked was actually, does Xiaoyun know that we're talking about Xiaoyun right now? Because I think that how you are interacting with it, it's part of the process to deal with this, and I think maybe we can learn from this. You know, when you are facing a challenge, when you are facing an obstacle, maybe we can personify it, and we can make it so that, hey, Mr. Challenge, I welcome you, and we're gonna see you again tomorrow. It's perhaps that's one way to, if you want to 结好缘, or if you wanted to 忏悔, then perhaps we can personify it to make it so that, hey, let's make a deal today. How about you go easy on me and I don't go so hard on you? Something like that, and maybe it's a good way to deal with. So I'm learning this too, and I think that I'm amazed at how objective, how you're able to, like you said about when your dad had the very first time, and you were being able to sort of be like the third person view. You had to be you had the ability to be very objective about all of this. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why you're able to deal with this so quickly. Okay. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, from Master's teaching, I think that is using the mindset of permanence to look at something that is impermanent. So it's a time for me to take a turn. It's a time for me to adjust and adapt. And I'm adapting it by cherishing every moment. I'm adapting it by making my life even way more valuable than what it would otherwise be, how I would run my life. And I think we're all waiting for that turn. Maybe for you, the turn came earlier. And not only the turn came earlier, but you made a very graceful turn. That you turned this, some people would falter, some people would, like in the racetrack, some racer would just turn very gracefully, on the motorbike, or if it's on the F1 on the track, they would turn gracefully, or if it's, the Winter Olympics, and you made that turn beautifully, while other people, like others in your war mate, they might not be able to turn beautifully, right? They might not be able to objectively see this, and they cannot adjust accordingly. And so you help them. You help them stand up, and you tell them, hey, this is how you do to turn like I did. Look at how we can do this. And I think that is the beautiful part about life, how you now turn and you came back to teach other people, the war mates, and now you make great friends out of all this. So as I said, I think I wish you in the New Year's that you're going to have I don't even know what to say. Okay, I don't even know what's the right wish to make. But I want you to be happy. And I think that what Dharma teaches us is wherever you are and whatever happens, that you could be 自在. So whether there is Xiaoyun 2.0 or Xiaoyun 2.0 is gone, however it is, you will be at ease in your mind. And I think that's what Buddhism is all about, helping you finding that peace and heart. And so that's the only thing I can wish for you, and we can pray together that you will always be able to find your footing, so that when things come, maybe it's a tornado, maybe it's an earthquake, or maybe nothing happens, that your feet will always be firmly planted, so you know where you are and you know how to walk to the next spot. And I think, I hope that when the time for me to experience that, I would have the same courage and the wisdom as you to be able to do that. And also have the friends as you have to help me get through whatever the turn that comes for me. And I think we can learn so much from you. There's not much more I can say, but I wish you all the best. And I thank all the Dharma family that stay with you and they're still by you. And I see Jen and Xinqin, they're so joyous, I'm so glad. I think it's like your laughter is infectious. That right? I see them and I see them laugh and smile. There is no sign of anything that feels like, oh, this is a horrible thing. I think that is the very, very best support and joy that we can get from our Dharma family. So that is Dharma. So thank you, Sister Jennifer.
Thank you, Brother Joe. Thank you. 感恩.
感恩. Wonderful. I think in the future, we should hear more from you. There are so much stories that we can hear from you. So thank you. Thank you.
Before we end, right? Sister Jennifer has a wish. Yeah.
Yes, she has a wish.
Which one?
I really wish that I can return to 精舍 so that I can see 上人.
Yeah, because she didn't get her 受证 by 上人. Yeah, it was during the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. You know, keep that. We're gonna try. Yeah, this pandemic, there's a problem, right? Because they don't even grant out visas anymore to non-Taiwanese. So even there are Taiwanese that cannot come about. But I think we are praying every day for that day to come very, very soon. Okay, so that's your vow, and that's what we're praying for too, and that's what Master's praying for too. She's willing everybody to be able to come home very soon. So hey, I heard that Singapore is also doing a 拜年, right? If you could have a little segment, I think there's time. Before it's always just, you know, Happy New Year, right? Now there's a little bit more time. Maybe Sister Jennifer's story can be shared, and you can say that vow yourself, okay? Make that vow yourself to Master and say, 上人我发愿我要回到台湾，我要希望上人等我要亲自为我受证。And you can say this to Master yourself. And I'm not sure if you know, let me see, Singapore is 初二, right?
Yes.
It's on Wednesday, February 2nd. If you can, I'm just throwing things out because I think this vow is best said to the person that you are making the vow to, okay? Not me. Making the vow to Master and say it to Master and show that you learn and you're changed and that you want to stand in front of Master and 亲自得到上人的那个受证. I think that would be wonderful. Okay, I very much look forward to that opportunity. Okay, so I don't need to tell you to be strong. I think it's us that need to be strong. I think we're much, much weaker than we thought. And you turn out to be much, much stronger than you thought. So maybe, like you said, right, the moments of test, do you fail or do you pass? And you pass with flying color. You don't know, but you do. You do.
You know, Brother Joe, before that, she still thinks that her story is not worth sharing. We try so hard to pull her here to share and then talk to everybody here.
I'm so grateful that I'm here today. I could hear this story and I could have the opportunity to respond and to also share with you my feelings. I'm very grateful. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jane and Xinqing, for accompanying her. And thank you, Sister Xiuqing, for, I'm sure there's an adamant push to make sure that Jennifer shared today. So thank you for all people that made this possible. Thank you.
Truly, indeed, we are very grateful. All of us, I'm sure, that are listening at this point of time. Sister Jennifer, as our great exemplary Dawa teacher, so glad that Sister Xing called me that day. I could barely talk that day when my sister shared the story. Wow, yeah, truly very grateful to Brother Joe for your great insights and wisdom. Today, these grand lessons that we have heard. Wow, impermanence in minds of permanence. Yeah, we really hope to definitely there will be slot for Sister Jennifer to share your continue on your life journey, and we also share the same prayers that Sister be able to go back to Taiwan for commissioning.感恩brothers and sisters who join us today.感恩Sister Jane and Sister Jing for this wonderful session because of both of you. And for Sister Jennifer, we could have this. Okay, brothers and sisters. Okay, let us. Tomorrow there will be another very wonderful session from Sister Man Zhen. She will also share a few stories of this embrace change on the cancer patients. So okay, we also look forward to Brother Joe's session tomorrow. Okay, so much heartfelt feeling. 真的是 beyond words. Okay, thank you, brothers and sisters, for all your support and presence today. Hope that each of us could sustain this Dharma joy and take in another piece of the Master and Highlander to our life. Let us invite Brother Joe to lead us in making 3 vows to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen as we depart to apply these teachings in our everyday life. Okay, sorry, before that, we will take a group photo for those who can stay behind. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life universal truth. Vows together. First vow. Second vow. And third vow. Okay, got it. Okay, let's take one group picture. Got it. Can everyone on the video? Got it. Oh, Sister Jennifer really full of life. 真的是, I also truly today, know what? Recently I shared in Sister Sulin. She got of her love for Master's books. So she asked us to share the book, and the book I chose was Being at Peace. And today I really see the example of this those spiritual warrior right in front of my eyes. And I also say my brother Joe, asking myself, if test comes to me, could I be? I think with today's sister sharing, definitely, I hope I can fare better. Okay. Okay, sisters, brothers and sisters, can everyone on your video? Let us take one group photo. Sister Wai, thank you. Help us to take the picture. This one truly, yeah, that's full of life. Love. Okay, okay, see everyone tomorrow. Take care, stay safe. Brother Joe, thank you, everyone. Take care, stay safe.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night. Okay.
Good night, everybody. 感恩聆听。
感恩 Master.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.